Hi everybody, I'm here today to do an experiment using Easter eggs and a couple of other materials that you will probably have around your house. I have some pom-poms, some jelly beans, some plastic beads, and some coins, which I've split into nickels and pennies. And I also have a cup of water, and I have a plastic bin filled with water that I'm going to use for later on in the experiment. You could use either one, but having a bin filled with water will make it easier and more hands-on for the experiment. So today we're going to be talking about making predictions. And a prediction is what will or what might happen. So our experiment today is, will this Easter egg sink or float in the water? So you're going to make a prediction. What do you think will happen? Will it float at the top of the water, or will it sink to the bottom? So take a second, make a prediction. Will it float or sink? And then we're going to put this in and see that it floats on top of the water. It floats. So to make this experiment more interesting, you're going to come up with predictions as to what you could fill the Easter egg with to make it sink to the bottom. So I'm going to start with pennies, and my prediction is that it will take 6 pennies to make the Easter egg sink to the bottom. So I'm going to fill up my Easter egg with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies, and I'll close it. Of course, now it's not closing. Okay. And then I'm going to put it in my cup and see if it's going to sink or float, if my prediction was right or wrong. Now, if your prediction is incorrect, that's okay. You can keep experimenting until you can actually make the egg sink. And that's how we learn things. If your prediction is wrong, it doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that you still need to learn. Let's see. Oh, my prediction was wrong. The Easter egg is still floating. So I'm going to go back and rework my prediction. Oops. So it's not going to take 6 pennies. It's probably going to take more to make it heavier. So I'm going to try 10 pennies this time. I already have 6, so I'm going to count up to 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. So I added 4 more. I had 6, I added 4, and now I have 10. I close my Easter egg, and I'm going to re-put it into my cup of water and see if I can finally make this sink. Oh, I think we're very close at making it sink. If you see, it's right on the edge of the water line. So I think I'll only need to add a few more. Let's add 2 more. So we have 10. I'm going to add 2 more. And now we'll have 12 pennies in our Easter egg to make this sink. All right, ready? Oh, this time it's really going down. And if you see, these have little holes in them, the Easter eggs, so it's going to take in some of that water, and the more water that it takes in, the more that it actually made it sink to the bottom. So that was 12 pennies to make this Easter egg sink. Was my prediction right originally? No, it wasn't. I originally guessed 6 pennies, and it needed double that. It ended up needing 12. So that's one thing that I learned today. I'm going to empty out the water, and then I'm going to take another Easter egg and fill it with some other items and see if I can guess how many they'll take to sink or float. And you can do this over and over again using your different items like your pom-poms, your pennies, the nickels, the beads, the jelly beans, and test them all out and see if your predictions are right. I'm going to do a quick little video of my plastic bin setup so you can see another way how to do this experiment. And I hope you have fun. You could really use whatever you have around your house to fill up the Easter eggs and make predictions if you think it's going to sink or float. All right, have a great day, guys. All right, so here is my setup for the experiment using a plastic bin. I have some Easter eggs at the bottom that I've already sank to the bottom, and some that are floating at the top, like this one, and some that are kind of on the edge of sinking once they get enough water in them. This one at the bottom was my pennies. This one that's kind of on the edge right now is nickels. This one that is still floating on top, even though it's totally packed, is pom-poms. So you could try and stuff as many pom-poms in there as you can and it'll probably still float. This one, which is leaking all over the water, is jelly beans. So that one's making a mess, but it did sink to the bottom. So this can get a little messy, but remember, having mess in science usually means you're having fun. So try out this experiment, do some sinking and floating, see which ones work for you, and let me know how it goes.